much is the mainstream sewing industry adopting a sustainability mindset these days? I went to the Knitting and Stitching show in London at the beginning of October 2023 to investigate. I tried to unearth any ethical and eco-minded motivations among the commerce taking place. So come with me and listen to the conversations I had and the conclusions I came to. Welcome to Check Your Thread, the podcast that will help you sew more sustainably. My name's Zoe and I'm obsessed with sewing. I've been blogging about it for over 15 years and I'm the creator and host of the popular Handmade Wardrobe Challenge Me Made May. But like many people, I've become increasingly concerned about the climate crisis and the way that my lifestyle contributes to it. So in this podcast, I'll be nerding out about making clothes whilst exploring how to minimise the negative impacts that it may have. I really hope you'll join me in this journey. How are you doing, wonderful listener? Whatever's going on with you at the moment, I hope you're hanging in there. Recently, I found out that two lovely Check Your Thread listeners, Vicky and Steph, have both been incredibly ill. I'd love it if everybody sent out healing thoughts to both of them. Vicky and Steph were all wishing you both full and speedy recoveries. As for me, I've been doing okay since the last episode dropped. It's been the half-term break here, so I've been busy doing stuff with the kids. Plus, it was my birthday. We spent it close to home and had a lovely low-key time. So, are you making anything at the moment? I've been working on the latest scrappy sweatshirt project for my husband and a cardigan and a couple of pairs of joggers for my friend's baby. They're all made from scraps and remnants of extra thick sweatshirt fabric. Although it doesn't matter how many projects I make from it though, the bag doesn't seem to be getting any less full. So my sustainability fail this week is eating some takeaway food that came in non-recyclable packaging and that went just straight into the bin. I'm feeling pretty bad about that. There's this new Giro place that's opened up near us. The wraps that my husband and I ordered were wrapped in paper, so that was fine. But the burgers that my kids had came in these foil-lined boxes. It's a takeaway place, but they seem to have some tables there. So in the future, maybe we could eat in the restaurant rather than getting takeaway. That might mean we can avoid the non-recyclable boxes. I'll investigate. A sustainability win this week, making a new pile of cleaning cloths for my kitchen by harvesting squares from an old towel. So I have to do this about every 6 months when the last lot gets super ratty. I literally just cut squares from this old towel that I got on Free Cycle years ago and I overlock around the edges. When the old ones are no longer usable, I cut the overlocking thread away from the edges and I chuck them in the home compost bin because the towel is 100% cotton. As you'll have heard from last week's episode, in the future I hope to get some tencel thread to use in my overlocker. So when the cloths eventually die, I can chuck the whole thing in the compost bin and it'll all biodegrade, including the thread. This week, I get to thank one newly signed up patron, Wolf Cub. Big thanks to you for helping this podcast stay afloat. You and all the other patrons are absolute stars. If you enjoy this weekly podcast and appreciate its ad-free nature, please consider supporting the podcast with small monthly donations. Please find the link to sign up via Patreon in the show notes and on the website checkyourthread.com. So today's episode, it's along the same lines as episode 87, which was the one that I made back in April at the So Sustainable Fair. You'll be basically coming around the Knitting and Stitching show with me and listening in on the conversations I had. Through those conversations, I was trying to answer my own question about the role that sustainability currently has in the mainstream sewing industry. So you'll hear me talk to my pal Catherine, who I went to the show with. Then you'll hear Jen Hogg, who is a former Great British Sewing Bee contestant and now a designer of tools for crafters. I've been wanting to speak to Jen for a long time. And you'll hear me talk to Yvette from Stash Hub, who I previously spoke to at the So Sustainable Fair in April. She filled me in on all the latest Stash Hub related updates. I also got to speak with Lauren Tedstone, who is another previous Great British Sewing Bee contestant from the latest season, and she was there manning the Mimikins stand. I also got to speak with Heide, one of the founders of Mimikins, about their interesting products. And I bumped into Tanya from Bornella Fabrics, who I have chatted with before, but not for the podcast. She told me about some very cool sewing sustainability stuff recently that she'd been up to. And lastly, I got an update from Louise from Ethel and Joan, who you also would have heard from during the So Sustainable Fair episode. I've put links to all these people and their businesses where applicable in the show notes. I also had a lovely catch up with Grace from Beyond Measure, who I previously spoke to for episode 59, but I didn't record my conversation with her this time. So my goal was to get out of my more sustainable bubble somewhat. However, Honestly, I'm not sure I wandered very far out of that bubble because, as you'll hear, most of the people I spoke to I already knew before visiting the event. So I guess that could mean that I didn't sleuth as well as I'd intended, or it could mean that there just wasn't that much sustainability related stuff to be found. Anyways, I hope you enjoy listening to this, and whether or not you attended the show yourself, I'd love to hear what conclusions you would draw if you asked yourself the same question that I was attempting to answer. So please share your thoughts with me via email, zoe@checkyourthread.com, or find me on Instagram @checkyourthread. So please take care of yourself, please take care of those around you, and enjoy. Hi, Catherine.
Hello.
Who are you?
I'm Catherine. I'm Zoe's friend, who she's very kindly taking to the knitting and stitching show with her. So hopefully I can be helpful today.
Have you been to the knitting and stitching show or similar before?
Never. No, this is my first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to it.
So you haven't been to it? Cool. I was trying to think. I think I have been to this one, but not for like 12 years.
Jeez.
Yeah.
3 kids.
Yeah, a lot of things.
A lot happened.
A whole nother life. Yeah, I think I was helping, when I was working for Trade, that textile recycling charity, they hosted some workshops for kids and teens, kind of upcycling kind of workshops, and I helped out at one of those.
Yeah.
And that was kind of at the beginning of my career, I'm using inverted commas here, as a sewing teacher. And I think that it was that experience that made me realise I really wanted to focus on teaching adults, not kids or teens. That's not where my skills lay. So I've been to that. I've been to the Stitch one in Islington. That's a really good one. I think that's in the spring. I was working on the Fabric Godmother stall there, which was really fun but really exhausting. And there was one, I was thinking, it must have been about 5 years ago, that was specifically like branded as a Great British Sewing Bee one.
Okay.
So it wasn't the knitting side, it was just sewing. And that was really good. That was somewhere in Docklands, I think. I'm really looking forward to it because I haven't been to one of these for ages, and I'm not working there, so we can just like a mooch about and see everything.
Oh, looking forward to a mooch. I'm kind of thinking that I might try and pick up some little Christmas gifts or birthday gifts. My mum is a big crafter as well.
Change here. Other national rail services.
So every time I go through Haywards Heath Station, I have to tell my daughter that this is where she was born.
Oh.
Yeah, she doesn't care, but she has to get told that. That's lovely, cool. So gifts, looking up for gifts. Anything for yourself? You looking for anything for you?
No, I'm just going with an open mind because I've got quite a lot of fabric. I've been given quite a sizable stash. Somebody who sadly died recently, so I have been given a stash of fabric, which I took quite a lot of stuff that I'm going to use. I was really discerning, actually.
Well done.
What
did you do with the rest of it?
Hospice charity. One of my friends who lives over the road, she took some of it as well.
Oh, lovely.
And it was really interesting, actually. The pieces that she chose over the pieces that I chose were so different. And I don't know, I just think, people have different sewing styles, different tastes, but
that's nice.
Yeah,
she took fighting over the same
pieces. No, exactly.
Totally.
But don't let me buy any fabric, I've got enough.
Okay.
And also, I always try and, I think this is one of the reasons that we are friends, because we sort of have that sustainability thing, trying not to buy too much new
quite
fabric.
Thoughtful in our making.
Yeah.
I would don't egg
rather
each other on. To just buy as much as possible.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it depends. If I see some patterns, maybe like any pattern books, I might be interested in.
Cool.
Not that I haven't got 1,000 of those already. So I don't know. I'm just going to go with an open mind.
I love it. Brilliant. So, in terms of the podcast, I'm going to let you know what my brief is.
Okay.
So, my feeling is, I am obviously very much in a bit of a sustainability bubble.
Yeah.
In terms of like the accounts I tend to follow, the people I tend to speak with. So I kind of want to almost get a bit of a like litmus on the kind of sewing scene more broadly.
Yeah, okay.
How it is at the moment. how much of an impact ideas around sustainability are having or not. Obviously, we are going to a show, and that's whole thing is about commerce.
Yes.
So it's about individual, businesses and business owners trying to make a living. So I understand that is their primary goal. But I'm really interested to see within that what's going on. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's find out.
Okay. Smooth.
Hello, Jen from Generates. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm okay. So this is the end of day 2 of the knitting and stitching show.
So we're still upright. We're still standing.
Just
By the end
about.
of day 4, that might not be the case.
Amazing. I've been trying to talk to you all day. You've been so busy. So what out of your lovely products has been doing well today?
Well, do you know, my best sellers are always my seam circles and my silicone hammer.
Yeah.
So those are my 2 absolute best sellers. The sewing ruler was my first product, and that's what really kicked everything off, kind of by accident. And then so I did that in 2020, and then in 2021 I had the idea for my seam circles, which I used to add or take off any amount from any pattern in a really kind of quick way, and they became an immediate bestseller. And then last year I had the idea for my silicone hot hammer, because I was a bit frustrated with the way that other hot hammers were functioning. I was kind of thinking this can be improved, and they should be made from silicone, so I thought, well, I'll make them from silicone. And do you know, I brought them down to the Ali Pali last year, and I produce everything in Scotland in small batches. So I brought a small batch down, and I thought, I'll talk to people about that over the 4 days, and I'll see what people think, and they can give me an opinion. And I'd sold out in 3 hours. So at that point, I had people, I'd written display with a Sharpie, I'd written display on one of them, and I had people saying, can I not just buy this one? I'm like, no, I've written on it.
Oh,
so,
amazing.
So at that point I thought, this is going to be a hit. And it's I've sent screeds of them all over the world. So it's really lovely to feel like I've contributed something that other people in my community find useful. Yeah. That's a really nice sense.
Absolutely. And as a sewer yourself, you are aware of what you need. So how did it begin? How did your product range start? Because you're a lawyer by trade.
I was a lawyer originally, and then I had my own design-led giftware shop. And then I worked for a charity, and that had just come to an end when I did the Sewing Bee. So it was quite natural kind of progressions. And when the Sewing Bee finished filming, I didn't have a job lined up. And I had the idea for the sewing ruler in my head for many, many years. And I had searched and could never find it. And at that point, I was going to silversmithing classes in Glasgow. And I went back to my silversmithing classes. Of course, couldn't tell anybody that I'd been on filming for the Sewing Bee. But I went back to my classes. And I said, I can't concentrate on silversmithing. I really need to sew. And my tutor, I think, thought I was a bit nuts. And he said to me, do something for your sewing then. So I made my ruler, because I'm quite good with the design program. So I designed and made my ruler. And I really liked it. So then, completely by chance, at about the same time, I was teaching knitting. And one of the women who came to my knitting group, we got chatting. I said, what do you do? And she said, I've just moved back to Glasgow with my husband. We have a laser cutting business. So it was that organic. It was that kind of by chance. So we got together and we made 100 rulers, and I put them on Instagram. And bear in mind, back in my series, The Sewing Bee, in 2019, we didn't get huge Instagram followings on the back of being on the programme. They actually actively discouraged us from doing social media when we were on it, because they weren't sure about the impact. So they're much better now encouraging people to do social media, which is great. But anyway, I put them on Instagram, and I sold them in half an hour.
No way.
And I felt great. But you know, it's a funny thing. For me, and maybe this isn't true for everybody who designs products, but for me, it felt really personal. Because here's me, I had this idea for a long time. I finally realise it, and I think it's really useful. I'm finding this really handy. And then what I'm doing is I'm saying to the people in my community, my sewing community, I'm saying, look, I like this. What do you think? And you're really putting yourself out there at that point. It's a really personal thing. So I still get that whenever I design something new. I still have that kind of, I'm putting this out and what people are going to think of it. But generally, the whole ethos of my business is that I design, basically it's very selfish. I design for myself. And if I think it's useful, then I think other people might like it too. And that's been the case.
Yeah, so can you tell me a bit about the materials that you use?
Yeah, sure. So my main material, if you come to my stand or you look at my website, you'll notice there's a lot of wood. And I use FSC approved cherry wood veneer. So cherry wood's a UK wood. And the FSC is the Forestry Commission standard. So it's as eco as I can make it while still serving the function it needs to serve. And I also produce locally in Glasgow, so everything's produced, it's all cut within about 5 miles of my house. I use recycled acrylic, and I'm using acrylic, and I also use cashmere waste.
Oh.
So I have pin cushions that I made, and they are made from literally the pieces of cashmere which are otherwise going to go into landfill. And I felt them, and then I use them in products or in my sewing as well. And the one product, the silicone hemmer, I found quite challenging because it's silicone, it's not wood. But then I was talking to a man who is involved in the eco-industries, and he was saying to me, no, it's also important that things are made from the correct material for their purpose.
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, that's right. This is the silicone hemmer I designed because other hemmers were failing for me.
Yeah.
If you don't lose that, the silicone one's going to last you for your sewing career. You know,
It doesn't work. It's going to go in the bin.
Exactly. And I must have bought 5 or 6 hemmers before I designed my own. So yeah, so that assuaged my guilt on that. But yeah, so everything predominantly is a lot of wood. But then I really like that. It's a lovely texture. It's a lovely material to work in.
So are you always kind of like thinking about, oh, what's next? What can I develop soon? What's coming up?
Yeah, I really am. I kind of go through phases where I have more productive kind of periods where I'm thinking about things, and then kind of had downtime. But generally, I do a lot of kind of waking up at 3 a.m. thinking, oh, wait a minute, you know. And usually, you know, you have an idea, and then it takes quite a long time for that to build in your head and kind of reach a point which is kind of where you want it to be. And then you have to start going through the kind of iterations of different designs to see what's going to work. So I've got one that I had some here to test them out. I've done a pattern tracker, which is because I also knit.
Right.
But basically anyone who's using a chart for something, whether cross-stitch or knitting or whatever, I've done a pattern tracker, which is a set of magnetic rulers, but the top ruler is clear. Oh. So you can put your pattern in between, and you can move the ruler up the page. But the key for me is that on my pattern tracker, you see the row you've just done as well as the row you're on.
Right.
So that you can make sure you're in the right place. So for me, that's fair isle knitting. That's predominantly what I would use it for. But I know that cross stitches and other people might find it handy too. So that's my next thing. That's very, very close
a lot of
to being
R&D
generally
of
available.
what you're doing.
Huge amount,
Huge amount. And you enjoy that?
I really do, and kind of by accident. So it's been something that, I'm not sure I could transfer it to any other products. It is really kind of, stuff that Jen likes.
Yeah. Amazing. So do you tend to generally sell through these kind of shows? Or do you stock in shops as well? Or do you sell yourself at Etsy?
I do all three, yeah.
Oh, right.
So
everything.
I do the sewing shows because I really like meeting people face to face, and I do talks, about the sewing bee and so on. And then I have a website, and then post-Brexit I also have Etsy, because as a small business it's hard for me to manage the new legislation for selling into Europe, into the EU. So I sell to the UK on my website, and I sell worldwide on Etsy, is how I kind of have had to manage that. And then I also sell wholesale. So I have some products here which have gone French, for example. So I've got a knitting ruler here where it's all written in French, because that's for a big French haberdashery, so I send them over. And I sell all over the world. Yeah,
amazing.
So I sell a lot to America and a lot to Australia.
Do you?
Yes, it's really interesting. I have a world map that I've not put up yet, but I'm wanting to put it up in my kind of sewing work, office room. And I really want to put pins in all the countries I've sold to, because it's great when I sell somewhere new. I'm like, oh, I wish I could hand deliver to Sri Lanka, whatever it is. Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
So it's been a really interesting journey, a really interesting thing to have done, and as I say, kind of by accident.
Yeah. Thank you so much for talking to me, and I really appreciate it, because I know it's probably hard to string words together at this point of the day. So thank you so much.
Thanks for coming by to chat. It's just been lovely to see you. Thank you.
Hello, Yvette from Stash Hub app.
Hello, Zoe. Lovely to be back.
Where are we?
So we're at the Knitting and Stitching Show, Alexandra Palace.
Day 2 for you.
Day 2 for me, yeah.
How are you holding up?
Good, yeah. I did manage to sit down and eat my sandwich because I was trying to eat it, and then someone started talking to me, and so I was just like choking, and they were like feeling really bad. So yeah, it is quite full on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm having a really good time.
Is your face aching from smiling at people?
Oh yeah, I just love every single person in the sewing community so much. So I'm just genuinely like beaming at every single person all day. It's really good fun.
So have there been people that have recognised you, or that you've recognised from Instagram and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's really lovely to meet people like that you only know online in person. It's like quite strange that like these people are actually tangible.
Yeah, and 3D.
I know.
They've got a side and a back.
I know, I'm like, don't look at my bad side.
So how's Stash Hub going?
Yeah, really well. So excitingly, I've just finished my first month of working full time and just on Stash Hub.
Really?
So yeah, you might have noticed that our like content has absolutely like boomed. I'm just doing so much content on Instagram at the moment. But yeah, so I've launched Stash Chat. So that's when I chatted to Zoe about her stash, and I'm getting loads more people on coming up. So yeah, I'm just trying to like do so much community stuff just to get the word out about Stash Hub, but it's been really exciting.
That's major. So this is your full-time job now?
Yeah, this is our big push. Like, so we're almost at 1 year since our official launch.
Yeah.
So we're planning some exciting stuff for our 1 year, and then now it's like we've got to make this work. So we're all in now. So Doug and I are both working full-time on Stash Hub. So it's quite scary, but it's also really, really exciting.
Yeah, that's incredible. Oh, well done. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's like feels like a mega milestone.
Yeah, no, I didn't realise that you were doing it full-time now, both of you.
Yeah, I've only just started, so I'm still feeling a bit imposter syndrome, like what's happening? But yeah, the community is so supportive.
How are you finding being your own boss then?
Well, it's not too bad because my work, like in my previous job, a lot of that was very self-directed, so it's not like I feel completely lost, but yeah, just in terms of the overall like general businessy things, I'm a bit like, am I doing the right stuff? Like I feel I'm really like focusing a lot on content and like on being present online, because the sort of community atmosphere is like what really got me into sewing, and it's something that I think is really important. So I'm really trying to build a community with Stash Hub, not just like try and promote the app alone. So so that's what I've been doing. That it's just, hopefully that's going to pay off. Now we've both got time, we're really responsive, so if you've got any ideas or feedback, please do get in touch with us.
Cool. So what's been going on with the app itself? Have there been any updates lately?
So we've just released a big update with loads of new like small features. So almost all the features are things that we've got from feedback from our community. So a lot in our Facebook community, which is called Stash Hub Club, obviously.
Amazing.
So we've got things like we've added stretch percentage, and you can filter by stretch percentage if you've got a pattern that's like you need at least 40%, so you can find if you've got what you need in your stash. The most exciting thing I think is there's a little animation now when you complete a project, and it does a little burst of confetti that's like project complete. So that's really good. And yeah, we've just got loads of like little improvements in the update, and then the update before that was the magic input. So that was when Doug was dressed as the wizard.
Tell me about the magic input.
So what we're finding is a lot of people they don't want to spend a lot of time like inputting fabrics, which is like fair enough. So what we're trying to do is just make the app as easy as possible to use. So with Magic Input, you just have a text box, and you can literally, if you buy fabric online, you can just copy the whole description, paste it into the box, and then the Magic Input will fill in the correct fields for you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So it's really cool.
Like, yeah.
It is cool. It is impressive. That's why we called it magic. I was like, Doug was like, but it's not magic. I have coded it. And I'm like, this is magical. Wear this wizard hat. We're making a reel. So yeah, it's really exciting. And like, hopefully in the future as well, we can like partner up with fabric shops. So it's literally just like a button and everything's in your Stash Hub. Like that's a dream.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think everything is like moving along. Like I'm excited to do like a look back at the last year, because we've literally done so many updates. Doug's just finished working on a search, which has been highly requested. So we're gonna hopefully launch that like quite soon, like
How's
next
that
week.
gonna work? What's that for?
So like if you've got loads of patterns and you're like you can just be like, I'm searching for Tilly in the buttons, and then it will show you all your Tillys, so you don't have to use the filters.
Right, okay.
And just to make it a bit speedier.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that will be a free feature as well. So if you want just on the free tier of the app, that will be accessible as well.
Amazing. So how has this show been for you? Have you been able to talk to a lot of potential app users?
Yeah, it's been really, really exciting. A lot of people have recognised me and been like, oh my God, you're the Stash Hub lady. And I'm like, yes, this is amazing. So like, yeah, if anyone ever sees me at an event or anything, don't like feel dubious about coming up to me, because it makes me feel like I'm actually getting the word out. It makes me really happy if you actually know who I am, so that's great.
Nice.
But yeah, I spoke to loads of people who have heard of the app, some people who haven't, and just a lot of networking with like business people as well, because I think everyone in the sewing community, almost all of them are sewers who've also like come from their own sewing background, so it's like you just got so much in common with all these people. So yes, I did Emma 77's bag making class yesterday.
Cute.
So I made a little phone pouch, which I'm obsessed with, so I'm just wearing that all the time now.
That looks amazing. So is it made of cork?
Yeah.
And it's got all the proper hardware and everything.
Yeah, so they were using the green machine to put in the holes and the rivets.
Green machine?
So it's like a sort of... It's like a mega hole punch, basically, for bag making.
Yeah.
So it punches the hole, and then you can change the dies on it. So to go from a hole punch to like a rivet press, so it means you don't have to do any hammering when you're adding the hardware.
Yeah.
Just makes it a lot smoother.
I think I used one of those many years ago. I had a job for like a goth and cyberware company.
Oh, wow.
So I used to like make corsets with lots of eyelets.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I used something similar. It was terrifying. I was terrified of it, like pinching your
It's the
fingers.
commitment as well. Like once you make that hole, that hole's not going away. Or like if you put the rivet in and it's wonky, that's where it is.
Yeah. Well, it looks so good.
I spent a long time like faffing about with where to put these rivets on the back to hold the strap holder in. And yeah, I am pleased with how it turned out. I think, yeah, maybe I should have put them a bit higher up, but
I think
it's
it looks
done.
wonderful.
I'm pleased with it.
Well, I'm glad that you have had a chance to actually enjoy yourself as well, not just be like business.
Yeah. This is a great thing about not having my own stall. I'm just like helping out.
So you're kind of like, you're covering a couple of other stalls, is that right?
Yeah, so because I'm friends with other small business owners, so I've been helping out Ethel and Joan selling their buttons and all lovely things. So I've got my lovely golden buttons on and my matching golden earrings. And today I've also been helping out Little Rosy Cheeks and Generates as well, so they've got to stand together.
Awesome. Well, I'm very excited about all the upcoming things in Stash Up, and I love that you're on the Instagrams more.
Yes, yeah, you're going to see lots more of me. So,
can you give us any sneaky peeks of who's going to be coming up in your stash chats?
Oh, so next week we've got Joy, who's talking about her tiny stash.
Oh,
so I
love this.
Yeah, so
okay.
I was like, I need like to represent like all different stashes, because I don't want to only talk to massive stash people, and then people with a small stash feel like they're doing it wrong or something. Like it's, everyone's stash is personal. That's sort of the whole point of Stash Chat. So we're talking to Joy, who's got a really small stash, about how she manages that, how she keeps it so small.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. Who else have we got? We've got Fo from the Sewing Bee coming on. So that's really exciting. We've got Harriet from Sew Me Sunshine, so we can see if she's getting high on her own supply. So we've got loads of really exciting people coming up. And if there's anyone who you're really curious about, let me know as well, and I'll see if they'll be willing to come on and chat to me.
So over the last year, since the Stash Hub app has been launched, like how has your stash changed, or your relationship with your stash changed?
I think it's just generally made me like a lot more mindful of what I have, and also like of how long I've had things, or if my plan for something changes as well. So like I did a reel this morning about this fabric that I've had for like 2.5 years, and now like we had a lot of comments from people as well talking about fabrics they've had in their stash for a long time, and like just because you've had fabric for a long time, it doesn't mean you've gone off it. It's just, sometimes the seasons pass just so quickly. I do feel very inspired by my stash.
Nice.
And I'm also hosting a fabric swap in November, so that's on the 4th of November in Woking.
Right.
So if anyone's sort of in Surrey or South London or like somewhere local, we're doing a fabric swap. So if you just go to my Blossom Sandwich account, the details are there. But that's like a good opportunity for people to guiltlessly get some stuff out of their stash and maybe pick up some new things that are more inspiring.
Awesome. Brilliant. Well, I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Zoe.
Hello, Lauren from the Sewing Bee.
Hi, lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you. Tell me, we are standing in front of a really interesting looking stand. Very excited. Tell me what we're looking at.
Yes, so I'm at a stand for this festival. I'm working with two incredible ladies. They make personalised mannequins. So the mannequins are made to measure. You have a 3D scan, and from that 3D scan, your measurements are then used to create your mannequin. So they pride themselves on the sustainability element of it. So it's made with layers of corrugated cardboard to create your frame. From that, it's then wrapped in a layer of batting, which is then made out of recyclable fabrics, and then it has a bamboo outer shell, which you can then pin into, you can then iron on as well. So because it's made from your measurements, it gives you the ability to then fit clothing to your size.
Yes, I love that, because that's always something that I've been a bit unsure of before, because it's just like a generic stand normally. So I really like that it is specific to you, and I love that it's made of cardboard as well. I'm actually really enjoying these little miniature versions as well.
So there's a quarter size. They're quarter size. So you've got a quarter size version as well. Will find me. I'm one of those, so you have to spot me. Very weird because I'm
Bottom left.
Yeah. I'll tell you who that is.
Go on.
It's Clive from Boys So 2. You know Clive?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there we
him.
go.
Yeah, so he's been scanned as well. So
Love that. So when did this business begin?
So it's been 1 year, but 5 years in the making. So these ladies have worked incredibly hard for 5 years, and this is their
Amazing.
first show here at Alexandra Palace. They've done a few shows, and then we've booked in for loads of scanning sessions for the majority of this year up until next year.
So where do the scannings happen?
The scannings happen from either the studio that's based in Banbury, so very central England, or there are scanning opportunities happening all over the country.
Cool.
So they'll come to a local area, normally a fabric shop or a sewing related business, and they'll do some scanning sessions.
Amazing.
So you can book into a scanning session. Just having a scanning session alone really can up your sewing game because you're able to get very accurate measurements of your body. So just having those accurate measurements, I've been able to fit clothing and make fit adjustments.
So you have one yourself?
Yes, this is me.
Oh, this is you?
Yeah, this is
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. It's very odd when I say this is me and people then stroke it, but
That's what I was inviting, but anyway.
yeah. So yeah, this is my mannequin here. So the whole process probably took about 8 weeks from start to finish. They do everything themselves. So they've basically developed the technology in order to do the 3D scanning to do your body. They then make everything layer by layer. There is hand sewing. Everything is made by these two very talented ladies.
Awesome.
So yeah, they're a new startup. I met them a few months ago now, and we just all clicked. I'm all about body positivity. I love what they stand for, and they are incredible. So it's been very fun.
Oh, lovely. So how have you found this event so far? A bit hectic, okay?
So far, it's been fairly hectic. However,
quite hot.
it's very hard.
Yes.
That's why I wore layers, but I am wearing something knitted.
Yeah, I
so-
noticed, but it's beautiful.
Yeah,
Did
thank
you knit it yourself?
I did knit it myself.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, it's my first knitted garment, so I feel like I...
What?
Thank
That's your first.
It's fine. No, it's been really fun. I'm going to
Yeah.
take a wander shortly and see some
Do.
other... I haven't been to Fabric Godmother yet. So.
They seem so... I haven't even been able to say hello yet
I haven't.
because they've been so busy.
No, and then throughout the weekend, we have other bees coming down as well. We've got all of our bees from our series. The men are all doing a catwalk tomorrow.
Are they doing it tomorrow? No, I was gutted that we
I'll film
wasn't
it.
today. Yes,
I'll
please
film
do.
it. I'll film it and I'll show you. But yeah, it's been really fun. Met some lovely people. You always do it shows like this, don't you? And
Yeah.
you know, you've all got the same hobbies and interests, and it's just a bunch of people that just relate to each other without even ever meeting. So it's very nice.
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Good.
I have, yeah.
Good.
Finding it quite intense. Like, I
Yeah.
came here with a mission, like, right, I'm going to seek out some more sustainable
Yeah.
stuff, and I'm going to record, and I'm just like,
Oh, I'm
shopping.
so
balance.
glad you came
ooh.
over. I saw that you'd put it on your stories, and I was like, you need to come to them.
Yeah,
I think you
but
would love them.
This is exactly the kind of thing that I was hoping
Yeah.
to see, like something different, something interesting, like an
Yeah.
innovation in more sustainable sewing.
Exactly, and it's a way to, even if you think about the sustainability element when it comes to wastage of fabric, technically you should have less waste because you no longer have to make 5/12 to your body because you've already
True.
got your body.
Yeah, that's
and
a good point.
also you can know your fabric consumption before because you'll have your accurate measurements, so there's no having to guess what kind of size you're grading to, you'll know. So it's already helped with that level of sustainability
Has
as
it?
well, so I think that's another element that just adds to their greatness.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Lovely to meet.
Can you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Heide, founder of Mimikins.
Can you tell us a bit about like what inspired the idea to begin with?
Well, both Mia and me, my business partner and myself, love crafts, love making our own clothes, and we thought that there was a need for something that still didn't exist, or at least not to the standards that we thought they should be done, and being like planet friendly, sustainable, having legs and these kind of things that you don't really see out there in the market.
Yeah.
So that is what inspired us, and also because we are very, we are entrepreneurial, we are creative, so we were trying to see whether we could achieve this, because
Right.
we started from scratch actually.
Yeah. So what was your background prior to this business?
So my background is business, like pure business. And Mia's background is biochemistry
All right.
and dressmaking, which she used to do in her free time, volunteering so
Right.
that she could be taught.
Right.
And that's where, we started like being
So it's
interested
kind
in
of
this.
all of it together. So it's materials,
Yes.
it's dressmaking, it's business.
It's operations, it's business, it's everything. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's been, Lauren was saying it's been 5 years in the making.
More or less, yeah. From like the initial idea, the initial conversation in a pub where we met up, where we
Amazing.
met for the first time, to nowadays. So it's been a lot of hiccups and trying to develop something, failing, trying again, not being sure whether it would work. There's a lot of technology involved. So making everything work, like using the materials we use and getting like accurate measurements and accurate scans and making everything work was a pretty big challenge. But where we are now, we're happy. Like this is now perfect.
Fantastic. So have you had a good response here at the show for your products so far?
Yes, very good, very good. It's interesting to see because people don't know that we exist. So when they see it, they're like, they can't believe their eyes. They're like, but really? Like, how do you do this? And yeah, it's having a very nice uptake. Yeah. I think it is. I think it's the kind of thing that if you like sewing, once you have your own, you don't want to go back to not having it.
Yeah.
That's how we feel.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. So can you remind me again what the materials are in these?
Yeah, so the core is cardboard, which is the traditional material used in standard mannequins. The technique is different because normally they use the cardboard to make papier-mâché and mass-produce all standard mannequins. What we do is we use the same material, but we use layers so that it's spinnable, it can be made to measure, and you can still iron on it, steam on it as part of the dressmaking process. It makes it lightweight as well, and it gives us the opportunity to then like hold in on, put the stand on one of the legs or in the middle.
Yeah, it makes it more accessible as well.
Yes.
Not being too heavy.
Absolutely, and it also like, you know, makes it affordable, so to speak. Then there is a layer of fleeceling, which is the upholstering, and then you have the cover.
Yeah. And the cover is bamboo jersey.
Bamboo, 95% bamboo, 5% elastan.
Right, and it's on a wooden stand.
Yes, which comes included with your mannequin. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. I really hope that you have an amazing time and you get loads of orders.
Well, thank you very much. Enjoy the show.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Would you please introduce yourself?
So my name's Tanya. I run an online fabric shop called Bornella Fabrics, which specialises in sustainable sewing. Yeah.
And I met you at the So Sustainable Fair in April in Docklands.
Absolutely, yeah.
And am I right in thinking that you don't have a stand here today, you're just lurking?
I am lurking, I am meeting people, I am stalking people that I've met on Instagram, and yeah, the usual stuff, and also getting lots of inspiration of things that I might like to see.
Nice. So what sustainable sewing business have you been up to lately?
Let me think. So I've been, I think it was Tuesday this week, I attended the Bromley street stitching event. So
Amazing!
This is where we basically bring a chair, we sit in the middle of the high street and we mend something that needs fixing, and then we chat to passers-by about what we're doing and sort of encourage them really that there is another alternative to fast fashion, that's mending the things that you've already got is more sustainable than buying new.
Amazing. Did you get much engagement from passers-by?
Actually, quite a lot. A lot more than you think there's going to be.
Positive?
Yeah, actually, genuinely, yes. So I think it falls into two camps. People that already know how to darn or mend and sort of want to tell you that they know how to darn and mend.
Yeah, I bet they do.
Yeah. And then there's the other camp which sort of says, what on earth are you doing? What is this? And we normally come with a QR code that we have on our chair so we can sort of direct them to, tips and tricks on how to mend. But also it's just a sort of good conversation starter. So a lot of people talk about where they get their clothing from, whether it be charity shops or they've just come out, Primark or whatever. And it opens a lot more doors than you think it's going to be. Actually being so visible in the street mending is genuinely nice.
Did you feel a bit vulnerable?
To start with, when you're setting up your chair to start with, it is quite... Yes, but it's nice. The way we do it is that everybody's like, I don't know, a couple of metres apart, and so passers-by have to pass through you in a way, but you sort of know that someone's got your back because someone's only like a couple of metres behind you. And then what tends to happen is that people walk along the line and they'll clock the first couple of people and go, what's that? And then by the time you get to the end of the line, they've plucked up enough courage to actually ask,
Nice.
What are you doing? What's going on? And there's a few other things. Normally you wear bright colours so that you feel a bit more approachable. So obviously people that wear, dark colours and are just concentrating on their work, it doesn't throw off the same vibe. So we try and be very approachable, very friendly.
Yeah.
What else do we do? Oh, everybody has a sign on the back of their chair that most people have made, which says "Stitch it, don't ditch it," which again is another conversation starter. A lot of people are like, "What is stitch it, don't ditch it?"
Yeah.
So again, we can direct them to where to look for sort of content.
Oh,
and
amazing. So how
things
often
like
do you do this?
So it normally coincides with Sustainable Fashion Week, so it's twice a year. So I'm going to say April. Yeah, so it last. Oh, the So Sustainable Fair was the similar time last time, so that would have been April. And then this week,
Amazing. Oh, October. Yeah.
October, September, October.
Yeah.
Wherever the dates fall. So it was
amazing. So did you mend some of your garments?
I actually mended this one. So
I
don't know where is it? Yeah. So there's a little bit here.
Expertly done. Look at that.
On the
I see.
Yeah.
But
So
only
there you go.
because you pointed it out. I wouldn't.
Well, thank you.
So do you prefer visible mending, invisible mending?
I say mended is best. So I wouldn't be able. Genuinely, I can't invisible mend. I just do the best I can.
Well, that is pretty invisible.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, fantastic.
I made an absolute faux pas, I'm going to tell you this. So beforehand we met in a cafe, so everyone could just meet each other. There's probably about 8 or 9 of us or something. And the lady I was sat next to, I feel so bad. She said, I need to make sure I'm going to leave at a certain time so I can get the train. I'm teaching at a certain time. And I just put 2 and 2 together, and I said, "Oh, are you a sewing teacher?" She sort of looked a little bit embarrassed, but sort of. I'm a professor of fashion. I was like, "Oh no, so not a sewing teacher at all." She's like, "Oh, I've taught sewing before."
Oh really? Where is she a professor?
I don't know. I had to look her up. I think one of the London colleges.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I'm a fashion lady. Yeah, she teaches sustainable fashion.
Oh, amazing.
Yes. So there you go. Small world. Yeah, and then it was quite funny because there was a lady from AFP agency, so that would be Associated Foreign Press or agency, came to film.
Oh, cool.
And she's like, "Do you mind if I film? Do you mind if I, interview you?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. I don't mind."
Because I get interviewed all the time.
Yes, absolutely. Twice in 1 week.
Twice in 1 week?
I know.
You're a professional.
Who knew? And she, at some point she said, "Did you make the clothes you're wearing?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, so did I." We got a chat. Obviously, we're now Instagram buddies.
Obviously.
She was like, "Oh, I'm a Vicky So's ambassador." I was like, "I know, I know who you are." So yes, it's a small world in the mending and stitching community.
Absolutely, it is. Have you seen any people here today? I mean, apart from store holders, but have you seen any people that you've clocked or from Instagram or?
Yes, I mean a lot of sewing bees that I think I know, but obviously don't know.
Yeah.
You know those. Yeah. Yes, and then I did put on my stories this morning about here's what I'm wearing. Say hi if you. And so I know that there's a couple of sort of Instagram buddies and my customers here somewhere, but I haven't bumped into them yet.
Have you seen anything that speaks to you as more sustainable about the stuff that's here? I kind of feel like we're in the belly of the beast a bit. I kind of feel like this is obviously a very commercial space, in terms of it's selling a lot. So I'm just really interested to see if ideas of sustainability is touching on the ranges and stuff available.
I'm going to say it's a really mixed bag. I haven't seen too many businesses or brands that have really shouted about their sustainable credentials yet, but also I think a lot of it's quite retail driven here, so I haven't in general felt like there's a huge sustainable focus.
Yeah.
But I'd like to think there was more, but whether it's just people aren't shouting about it or whether that it's just
not the focus.
It's just
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Hello, Louise from Ethel and Joan. Hello. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. You look exhausted, bless you.
Yeah, surviving, but it's all good. I'm going for pizza later with a bunch of sewers, so it's all good.
It's going to be amazing. The stand is looking beautiful.
Thank you.
It's a bigger stand here than when I saw you at the So Sustainable Fair.
Yeah, because that was only a little table, but more stuff.
Show me, what are your new things?
So, the marble buttons are a new size. So they're like the candies, but bigger.
Yes.
They haven't fully launched yet.
These do look edible.
Yeah, they are sort of dangerous.
Could easily get that wrong.
And then I've got the triangles and the diamonds. They're the winter limited.
Nice. These are stunning. Look at these. I'm looking at some How would you describe these?
Like they're diamond-shaped buttons with a black and gold leaf on a clear base. So yeah,
Stunning.
bit of sparkle. So yeah, the black leaf is kind of my colourway for the winter.
Yeah, you've got some new magnetic pin tidies. They're
so
lovely.
I'm doing like a winter limited because I got bored of doing the other colours, so I just did something different.
Gorgeous.
Winter, go glittery. Then I've got the clouds, but in every hue that you can think of.
Yeah, I still wear my cloud earrings a lot. I haven't lost them yet, which is amazing.
And then, yeah, just like the normal earrings and stuff, but just in loads of colours. I found more colours that are magical,
Awesome.
so yeah.
I don't know if I've seen these larger ones.
Oh, yeah. So they're called saucers. They look like the saucer sweets.
Yeah, they do.
And it's a more of a statement coat.
Yeah, they look like they're really
button.
nice on a really chunky cardigan or a coat.
Yeah. And they're really,
Lovely.
they're just lovely.
What's been popular at the knitting stitching show?
Marbles.
Marbles.
And the cloud earrings, as always. They seem to be my signature thing now. And then a blue seems to be in this year. I'm selling out of blue buttons. I've only got a little bit left. So I feel
interesting.
like blue must be on people's minds at the moment. But yeah, just a bit of a mix of everything. But
Awesome.
yeah, no, it's very exciting.
So you've just moved to a new studio. You've
Yes.
got a new space to work in.
So yeah, what's great is it's my first time that I've got all one place to do my work in. It's at Thameside Studios. I've got a window, which is very exciting. So yeah, now I have all in one place.
Yeah.
Which is just incredible. So it means that I can be more consistent and I can make my products and it all be in one place. And I can have open days, which will be really exciting.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
And you've got other creatives around you as well.
Yeah, so it's one of the largest art communities in the UK. So there's about 550 artists and makers in this place. The studios are great. It's right next to the Thames, next to the Thames barrier, so it's beautiful. You get gorgeous sunsets, and I get to walk past the Thames. So yeah, very lucky.
Oh, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, and every time I go there, I go, I have a window, which is very sad, but it's great. Yeah.
Enjoy. Lovely. Well, it was really lovely to see you
Thank
again.
you.
See you soon.
Always. Bye.
So, what have we learned? It is now, 8 o'clock in the evening. I've had a couple of wines, you haven't.
No, I wish I had. No, I mean, it was lovely without wine.
Turns out you can enjoy yourself without wine.
It's all about the good company.
Still not sure about that. But anyway, you've confirmed it's possible. So, what are your thoughts? Knitting and Stitching Show?
I thought it was good. It was nice to just have a mooch around and bought some little bits and bobs.
What did you buy?
I bought... okay. What did I buy?
You have to remind yourself.
I bought some... First up was some Pigeon Wishes buttons. They're
So
really
beautiful.
pretty. I can't wait to make something lovely with those. I bought the Lotta dress by Tilly and the Buttons.
Tilly on the buttons.
Tilly and the Buttons.
You've got 50,000 flyers.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I got a lot of flyers. I got this little bag.
This bag of joy.
That's another flyer.
Oh, Beyond Measure.
Oh, yes, yeah. So I got some Hancock's garment wax.
So that's like
for-
chalk,
But wax.
but wax, and
It will-
apparently you can remove it with the heat of an iron.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I got some little rosy cheeks sewing labels. They're leather ones for my mum. I hope she's not listening. And I got an awl for those tricky to sew fabrics that won't go under the press button.
Nice.
So-
And that was also from Beyond Measure.
That was, yes, from Beyond Measure.
Nice.
Nice.
That's a nice little haul.
It is a good little haul, I think.
Yeah. I didn't buy anything.
You didn't? Well
No.
done.
I tried
Strong.
to buy some yarn, but I didn't see any.
Oh no, you found that lovely colour though.
There was the one that was the colour of my dreams, like a chartreusey mustardy colour.
Beautiful.
But it was the wrong thickness for what I had in
Yeah.
mind. Sad times. But I did get their card. I changed my
Yeah.
mind. So, what have we learned sustainability wise as it pertains to the mainstream sewing industry?
I think it could be better.
Yes, it was interesting, wasn't it? There wasn't that much talk of more sustainable, and the stuff that was there, you had to kind of rummage a bit
Yeah.
to find what was going on. There was one company that had a lot of Indian textiles.
Yeah, what were they called?
Cloth Habit, I want to say. Something cloth.
No, because I thought it was the cloth house, but it wasn't.
It wasn't that. It was cloth something. And they claimed to be
Lovely
respectful
Yeah.
fabrics of respectful
Yeah.
textiles. didn't get to speak to them to find out what that meant because they were so busy.
Yeah, they were very, very
but it was all
busy.
very beautiful.
Lovely.
So yeah, interesting. I feel like in terms of sustainability, the stalls that were talking about doing things more sustainably generally tended to be the yarn stalls.
Yes, yeah, I agree. Just, I guess, because you know where you're... well, okay, I know there's going to be synthetic yarn, isn't there? But a lot of those sustainable companies were from sheep or other creatures, maybe, and you know where they're... I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of unsustainable yarn practices.
That's true, but...
As I've learned.
Yes.
But there was a lot of kind of small batch.
That's it. I think they were a lot of smaller companies, weren't they?
Yes, small batch, kind of fibre production, small batch spinning, small batch dyeing.
Yeah.
And some natural dyeing, I think. But yeah, I think that maybe the mainstream sewing industry still has some way to go in terms of embracing sustainability as a priority.
Yeah. And there were a number of stalls. They were kind of a bit like market stalls.
There
actually,
wasn't there? Like pilot high, sell it cheap. Yeah,
And,
good point.
Oh, I don't know. I sort of had a little mooch and had a look at a couple of them, and I don't know. I think about fabric differently now, and I get a lot of fabric second hand. I do still buy new fabric sometimes, and I can't always, I don't know that it's all sustainably produced.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just looking at it very differently now, so I'm not just going to go and buy something that I think is probably going to, go up in flames. Much as I might like the print, I'm going to be...
Oh, it's pretty shiny.
Like it. But no! Be strong. So I didn't buy any fabric. No, I had a self-imposed fabric ban today.
And it was tested.
Yeah.
It was tested.
It really was tested.
I mean, okay, so I'm on Last Sewer Standing, and I was definitely tested. I saw some beautiful seersucker on the Pigeon Wishes.
Oh,
stall.
Pigeon Wishes, they had amazing fabric.
The one with the big
so
orange.
nice.
Oh, that was super nice. We spoke to so many lovely people today, didn't we?
I feel like I spoke to more people because I was with you.
Because I'm shoving microphones in people's faces.
No, not just that, but because people know who you are a little bit. And well, you were talking.
Well, I've met a lot of them before.
Yeah. Okay, so you were talking to people that you knew. Anyway, I had some nice conversations with really interesting people.
Nice.
Yeah, it was lovely. Thank you. I had a nice day.
Oh yay! I loved it. Thank you. So, I mean, I think I'm going to have a big old think about wrapping up a conclusion. Anyway, thank you for coming with me. It's been really fun.
Having me. It was lovely.
Thanks so much for listening. I really hope you enjoyed this episode and are left feeling inspired. For more info about the podcast, including show notes for this and every episode, head to checkyourthread.com. I'd love to hear from you, so if you have any comments, questions or ideas for future episodes, please get in touch by emailing zoe@checkyourthread.com or find me on Instagram @checkyourthread. Massive thanks to Patrick Potter for production support, to Sylvia Seller for the awesome logo design, and to Simon at Palm Skin Productions for the music. This ad-free podcast would not be possible without listener support, so if you feel you are able, please consider signing up to the Check Your Thread Patreon. For the equivalent of buying me a coffee each month, you'll be making it possible to continue producing regular episodes. Links can be found in the show notes and on the website checkyourthread.com. I hope you'll listen again next week. Until then, take care. Bye!